Hi, everyone. Welcome to this extremely hot day in Brooklyn, New York. I hope you're all someplace cool, and I hope you enjoy this video. This is Ms.Akemi. She's such a great lady, great topics, great talking points. Sub up to her. She's talking about the Tyler Perry sexual assault lawsuit for $260 million from an actor named Derek Dixon, who plays, oh, I just forgot. I was going to call him Kyle, who plays Dell on The Oval. Her video is entitled, "Can Both Be Telling the Truth? Perry versus Dixon Explored." I think they're both telling the truth. But I think Derek Dixon was willing to go along with the game as long as he had employment. Now, after 6 years, he's bringing these charges. Well, what's about to happen? The Oval's about to be over with. I think there might be 4 episodes left, I'm not sure. As long as Derek Dixon was getting a paycheck, it seems he was willing to put up with all of Tyler Perry's advances, whatever was thrown at him, whatever texts, whatever this, whatever that. Do I think there was sexual harassment? Yeah, but it was accepted as long as there was a paycheck. That is my opinion. That is what it seems like. So if you have to throw in the word allegedly, throw it in. But let's check out Ms.Akemi's video.
Go ahead and start off the content. All right, y'all.
To see Tyler Perry being sued for sexual assault by the nigga Derek off the Oval. I've read these messages, I've reread these messages, I've proofread these messages. I read the messages in 3 and 4D. All I saw was two homegirls talking. Amen. First thing first, Tyler Perry did not open himself up to any of these allegations. If he made any passes, any remarks, they were all subtle. They were all blurred lines and gray areas. Why? Because Tyler, a billionaire. You think he knew to this? He true to this. Derek knew to this. Derek never been in this game before. He don't understand that Tyler understand what position he's in, and he tried to help you, Derek, regardless of his sexual preference. He tried to help you as a person. But what you did, Derek, try to target.
Personally, I think he tried to help Derek Dixon because of his looks. I think he was attracted to him. I think he thought other people in the game might be attracted to him. And I also think that allegedly, this is how you get along in Hollywood. When you become this big, you have to bring new people in. There has also been allegations of children being hurt. Allegedly, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's kids. Usher, Justin Bieber, allegedly. The list goes on and on and on. Look at Amanda Bynes. Look at all that stuff with Nickelodeon, which has been out there, which is not alleged. What's the reason Nick Cannon's having so many kids? Maybe to put them into that system. So maybe he doesn't have to go through too much. There is no way Nick Cannon can be a good father to all those kids all spread out. And I'm talking about being a father, being a dad, not financially. There is no way he can spread his time over all his kids the way they need it. Do the math. It's impossible. But yet he keeps saying, well, I'd like to have a child with this woman. I'd like to have a child with that woman. Are those women in the game? Will the kids be put in the game? Now back to this. Daryl Dixon is the male version of Anna Nicole Smith. Anna Nicole Smith could not act. She couldn't act. No, she could not act. No, 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 no. That's why she had to do all that sexual stuff in order to make it. Derek Dixon playing Dale on the Oval, which I've never seen him on Ruthless. It's possible he started there and I just never took notice. But on the Oval, he's a very awkward actor. He's not believable except for being very, very whiny. The other actors on the show, okay. I don't like Sharon, and I don't like Priscilla. I think they try too hard, but where Derek Dixon is concerned, um, I don't think he's trying hard enough. Now, there have been reports that he has actor training. My opinion, it didn't work, and he needs to go get a whole bunch more. But with what he's doing now, he may or may not ever get hired again. Now, what this guy is saying, I don't know who this guy is. But the text messages, to me, only prove bare minimum they had a friendship. One level up, they were attracted to each other. That's all I saw in the text messages. There wasn't anything like, and I could be wrong because I might not have seen all the text messages, but I never saw a threat of, well, if you don't play the game, you ain't gonna work. Never, never, never saw that. It could be out there, but he played the game in order to keep his part. It reminds me of the two kids who were suing Michael Jackson. As soon as the Jackson estate, the Jacksons who are in control of the estate, didn't want to give them work anymore, boom, they brought this lawsuit. There were no lawsuits before that. Not from these two. They worked as choreographers, this and that. And then boom. No more work. They tried to sue. I'm not saying things did not happen. I'm just saying trying to get justice for what happened kind of happened way too late. Michael Jackson's gone. But with this, Derek Dixon was making sure he kept in the business. And when it didn't happen, lawsuit came up. From everything I've seen, he was playing along with the game. And if you choose to play along with the game, it's not much of a choice. You either play along with the game and work and get money and go to parties and get fame and maybe get other work, or you don't and go back to whatever life you had before this. Look at that guy Tyler Perry was bringing out of acting retirement. I think he played Eldon on The Cosby Show. He was working as a manager at a grocery store. Tyler Perry said, "Oh no, this isn't happening. He's a great actor." Employed him for maybe one or two things. Now he's back at management. Was he unwilling to play the game? Possibly. Derek Dixon cannot act. Go look up The Oval. Go watch the episodes. He is very awkward in the way he acts. He's not believable. He's just not.
And sexuality for monetary gain. That's fucked up. I get everybody saying, here come the smear campaign. Because you know Tyler just had a successful movie on Netflix. Now they gotta try to tear the black man down. This campaign to tear the black man down began in 2019.
Okay, people need to knock their crap off. Knock a good black man down. This good black man has been involved with Oprah Winfrey for how long? How long? Oprah Winfrey, allegedly, according to reports, is involved in this stuff up to her neck, maybe even beyond. Some of the women who claim Weinstein sexually harassed them were introduced to Weinstein by Oprah Winfrey. Now, that is not allegedly. There are pictures, there's proof. So it seems like Oprah Winfrey's a handler. Once she gets involved with you, you have to play the game with the big wigs. There are also things coming out she was involved with Diddy and all that stuff, which is actually all connected with Weinstein and the politicians and all this other stuff. Go look it up, connect the dots yourselves. Oprah Winfrey stood by Michael Jackson until he was gone. Then she was all behind the two kids who were suing. Agreeing with everything they said. Well, if Oprah knew all this stuff ahead of time about Michael Jackson, why wasn't she putting it out there? Maybe because she knew her role in the game? Then you add on Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey took a liking to him right away and took him under her wing. That's not allegedly, she did it. She did the same thing with Dr. Phil, but now they're at odds. Why? Was Dr. Phil unwilling to play the game? It's possible. Everyone has a choice, even though it doesn't feel like much of one. They made their choices. They stuck it out. Now that they're not getting more rewards that they think they deserve, they're coming out. That's my take on this. But don't give me this bullshit. Oh, it's another good black man. How good can he be if he did this? How good can he be if other people are saying, well, if you don't agree with him, your character gets written off the show? In the Oval, okay, it's about things that go on in the White House and surrounding the White House. The president's name, I forget the last name, is Hunter. Him and his wife had 2 children, a son and a daughter. The son went on to be on Ruthless for a little bit, came back to the Oval. He's some kind of murdering sexual deviant. And the daughter vanished like in the 2nd season. Apparently, the mother's parents have so much influence on things. They have things like concentration camps, which apparently the First Lady was put into when she was a kid and got too rebellious. Where's the daughter? The daughter's not dead. She's just away there. The First Lady's father knows where she is, but nobody else is concerned about the daughter on the show. She was just written off, much like Judy Winslow from Family Matters. Where did Laura's little sister go? Um, there was another guy on the show named Barry. He was just recently shown in this season to have been killed and left in a empty warehouse somewhere tied to a chair. But where was the rest of his acting in the show? Maybe he wouldn't play the game, and with all the back and forth, he finally said, screw you, I'm gone, so they wrote him off the show. There was another actor who played Barry's half-brother. He was killed off the show. Maybe he wasn't willing to play the game either. Sharon was off the show for a while. Maybe she decided she has to play the game. So those were all allegations that Derek Dixon's making, that if you don't play along, you're written off the show. So if Tyler Perry is doing that, don't sit there and call him a good black man. He's not a good man. Black, white, whatever, he's not. Because he's taking what he's learned from his handlers and using it on other actors, allegedly. You can't just keep labeling all black people good, because like every color, white, brown, Asian, Indian, there's good and bad in both. You can't just say another good black man, where if he's doing this, which it looks like he was, he's not a good man, period. Who cares about the color of his skin? He's not a good man, period.
Derek 6 years to formulate convincing evidence of Tyler Perry's inappropriate sexual behavior.
And I want to just add to that, not that I'm feeling one way or the other, but I saw the movie, the newest movie that Tyler Perry has produced, and that's Straw. And in 2 weeks or 2 weekends, it has amassed the value of $50 million worth of support. And so
I saw Straw as well. I saw like cover posters, movie posters of it. I didn't know anything about it, but looking at that poster, I thought it was like Longlegs. It was something I wasn't interested in. My aide said, "Oh, can we watch this movie today?" I looked it up, saw Taraji P. Henson. I think she's a phenomenal actress. She's great. So I'm like, okay, watched it. The movie was amazing. Taraji P. Henson is amazing. Sherry Shepherd, and I don't like Sherry Shepherd, was truly amazing in this movie. Oh my God, the movie was just so great. It's like if you've ever seen Fallen Down with Kirk Douglas or Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino, it's like that, but there's a surprise twist at the end. Much like that movie with Brandy, The Front Room. I was sitting through the whole movie like, my God, my God, when is it going to be over? When is it going to be over? I'm only watching it because I like Brandy's song, What About Us? That really was the only oh, well, no, that was one of the reasons. The other reason was I thought it was supernatural. Forgot that for a second. The whole movie sucked until the end. And the ending made it all worthwhile because it was a surprise twist. Straw has that surprise twist ending, and it's so worth going through the movie. All powerful performances by everyone in the movie, even the people I didn't know. It was an amazing movie, and unlike some of the lines in Ruthless and The Oval and Sisters and All the Queen's Men, there are a lot of lines in those shows, which I love those shows, that are unbelievable. They sound corny. In this movie, Straw, not one line was corny. It was amazing from start to finish. Amazing. I didn't know about it making $50 million. And I sure hope this time around Taraji P. Henson gets what she deserves monetarily. Because remember, according to Taraji P. Henson, that beautiful, amazing black woman, Oprah Winfrey, screwed her over when she did the musical The Color Purple movie. Which again was another amazing movie. I didn't like the twerking scenes, the dirty dancing, that I didn't like. But that one little part of the movie, you throw that out, all powerful performances, Fantasia, everybody, everybody. But Straw is so worth the watch. So worth the watch.
So now this lawsuit came out on the 13th. It was released on the 13th. We are on the 18th, right? So we're looking right dab smack in the middle of the release of his newest production and movie. And no matter what the opinions of it is for people, people are tuning in, people are watching, people are checking for it, right? So I just wanted to add.
Yeah, that could be that cherry vanilla salsa. It could be that that's a setup to promote the movie. Look at Garth Brooks. He claimed he was going into retirement because um sales of an album he put out wasn't really selling as well as it should have, considering he was Garth Brooks. Even in the country world, it wasn't selling that much. So he said he was retiring. People wanted to go see what might have been the last of his shows, buy his merchandise, buy his album. And then he came out of retirement. So it could be because of that, but Having seen the movie, I can't say that's true because the movie is fantastic. It doesn't need this, and I understand there's no such thing as bad publicity, but it doesn't need this bad publicity to go see it. It's an amazing, wonderfully done movie. But Miss Akemi has a point. It could be.
It to his context of saying that it took this man 6 years. It took what it took, but then it could be defended on both sides. He could have a very plausible and very effective reasoning based off of his team why it took that long. All of these different circumstances contributed, the dynamics, everything evolving, including the relationship, the roles in the movies. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually in the lawsuit confessed or made the statement that he was hesitant to reject Tyler Perry, and this is all alleged, fair use is in effect, because of the fact that his roles, he needed to make money, and because his roles and his position in Tyler Perry's production company had leverage. It used his position and his acting as leverage. He felt that, he had to really be meticulous and he had to be very careful on how.
But I think that goes with any actor or actress, even if they're not part of this whole thing that's going on. Excuse me. They say you're only as good as your last movie. I mean, look at Monique. She was blackballed for going against these people. Now, I don't think she and everyone else should just rely on the fact she got an Oscar for Precious. That could have been a fluke, although I think she should have gotten some kind of award for the reading. That was another great movie. But you have to build your career, and if they see you're marketable, okay, apparently he's got the chiseled good looks. You've got to have the acting to back it up. So you go on auditions and whatever, and if the auditions were like his acting on the Oval, I can see why he wouldn't get a job. The guy who plays Bobby on the Oval is more entertaining. The guy who plays Eli is more entertaining. And definitely the guy who plays Kyle is more entertaining than Derek Dixon, than his character. His character could be played so much better, but in my opinion, he doesn't have the ability to do so. So Tyler Perry may have given him a chance just because he wanted him. And not for movies, but in like some sort of relationship or to play the game or whatever. But you also have to be marketable. And I can see where he's not. So that may have had something to do with it too. And in order to keep his paycheck, how much was he making for the Oval? My phone's taking a while to load up. Um, let's see. Um, I'm not finding what that is, but let's see what his net worth is. $300,000. Now, to a lot of people, that's a fortune. How much is his rent? How much is his light? How much is his cable? How much is his phone bill? How much is his car payment? Or was he able to buy a car? Was he given a car? I think it said he was given a car, but you still have to keep up with the insurance and the gas and things like that. And with the prices of everything today, that $300,000 isn't going to go anywhere. And from what I found out about net worth, that's only about how much you can actually see making in the future. That's not actually what you have. So he may have a whole lot less. And with the oval ending, Tyler Perry might not have wanted him in anything else. And maybe Derek Dixon didn't do everything Tyler Perry wanted, and Tyler Perry's getting him back for it. It could be that too. But if no one else wants him, that's a problem with him. And I'm not talking about sexually. If no one else wants him as an actor to be employed in their movie, then that's about him. Because I don't think every single director or producer or whoever plays the game. I think there are some that don't, or it hasn't reached them yet. And I cannot see him in anything else. He's just, to me, too awful of an actor. So it could be possible Tyler Perry explained that to him, and he don't want to hear it because he played the game and he wants what he was promised. And it's quite possible he already got what he was promised, but like everybody else, they feel like their sacrifices are worth more after the fact. Who knows? But it is a very big coincidence. This came out when the Oval's ending. And I think Ruthless may be ending too with what just happened in the very last episode I saw. So there may not be a place for him there. Now, if he's not like Bolo, if you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta or the All the Queen's Men, he in real life is a stripper with a very large male appendage. So for these type of shows, he is very marketable. It could be possible Tyler Perry saw what Derek Dixon was working with and can't get him into that show. Can't see him in Sisters. Can't see him in Zatima. You know, can't see him in any other show or movie. Maybe he's tired of him. We don't know what's going on, other than it came at a really opportune time for Derek Dixon if he wins, because he may now be unemployable.
He responded when he responded. And then you've got, of course, on the other side, Tyler Perry and his team saying, you know what, when I say team, I mean legal counsel and representation. His team is saying, yo, he's scamming. This is not what it, what he says it is. And but now I will say that, and I'm gonna keep saying this, depending, AI is so good that I don't know how they're going to be able, and I'm sure that they will be at some point, especially in such a high profile case, be able to determine whether those text messages are authentic, are authentic, authenticated or
True,
not, right?
true,
You'll be able
true.
to decide that. But if they are by chance authentic, then guess what? It's going to be a problem.
I ain't see nothing. I don't care that a fully clothed man took a picture by a boat and called himself a stud. That's not enough. That's not worth $260 million, Derek. Now you tried it. You tried to play possum and you tried to attract the bullshit. But not knowing, Tyler.
I agree with this guy. If that's really the only sexual type picture he sent, that proves nothing. He was in swim trunks, standing next to a jet ski or something, calling himself a stud. And the texts show they were laughing back and forth. Even if Derek Dixon was playing along with the game, that could still go against him because it's an actual written message. Maybe if he had confronted this situation earlier, him and the other actors could have gotten together with all their proof and it would be better. I haven't heard the other actors come out and say anything right now. They may be joining the lawsuit, they may be not. I don't know, but $250 million? That could be split so many different ways, even after taxes.
Then think about this, y'all. What kind of person gonna accept a role in a movie after being sexually harassed? If you really was sexually harassed, you took not only the movie role in 2019, but you took the Oval movie role too. So make that make sense. If y'all paying attention, this is the shittiest example of a money
There you
grab
go.
attempt. Because dog, you look like you was with it. If you grin, you in. You ever
Yep,
heard that saying? And nigga, you was digitally grinning.
yep.
If you grin, you in. That's the consensus of a lot of people, right?
Yes, and he was in as long as he was getting a paycheck. But he really cannot act. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. So it may be other people saw him and said, "What are you, crazy?" It could be that he was already passed around by Tyler Perry and nobody wanted Derek Dixon for more than what they may have physically gotten out of him, but they don't want to put him to work in a movie or a TV show. It's possible, and now he's suing Tyler Perry because Tyler Perry sold him on a dream, and a lot of dreams take sacrifices. So Derek Dixon made the sacrifices, maybe made multiple for multiple people, and he's not seeing, let's say, a return on his investment. That could be possible too. But there may be more to this than we're seeing yet. We'll see what happens in the future.
So we have to definitely take into account and consider all of the facts and stuff that's involved. And the next clip that I'm going to show is going to be a small one or a short one with another person's perspective. And I don't know if people are aware. I'm sure by this point, a lot of people are aware that Christian Keys.
I was surprised when I heard Ms.Akemi bring up that name. That's concierge from All the Queen's Men. Now, apparently, he has said Tyler Perry did some not so nice things to him. But then he stopped once he got All the Queen's Men. So it could be possible he played the game too. And when he saw he wasn't going to get what he wanted, threatened things, and then they get. I don't know. I don't know. But even he was brought up in this.
He did a live or a video where he did not name the billionaire, but now, of course, that is being revisited due to the fact that, guess what? A lot of similarities between that situation and then the current situation with Derek Dixon is making people revisit that entire situation. And one
And how many black billionaires are there? Billionaires with a B in the industry. Because this is Christian Keys, the concierge. It's his industry as well, the acting industry. So, how many male billionaires with a B are there? And I don't want to hear, well, that's the white man's fault. No, no, no. Keep it to this. Could he be talking about Spike Lee? He's in the business. Jordan Peele, let's see, Jordan Net. Okay, Jordan Peele's net worth, according to Google, is $50 million. Spike Lee net worth. Spike Lee's is estimated to be around 40 million. So, what male black billionaire are they talking about? Or is he talking about? Or if he even mentioned black, what male billionaire is in here? Maybe Harvey Weinstein was a billionaire. Let's see, was Harvey Weinstein ever a billionaire? No. Harvey Weinstein is not a billionaire. While he was powerful in Hollywood and co-founded Miramax and the Weinstein Company, his wealth significantly declined. Company was sold for 500 million. Okay, that's half a billion. But Christian Keys mentioned a billionaire. Uh, Christian Keys mentioned a billionaire media mogul in December 2023 Instagram live video. While he didn't explicitly name the person, many speculated that he was referring to Tyler Perry. So, billionaire, media, moguls. Several billionaires own significant media outlets, wielding substantial influence. Examples include Jeff Bezos, Washington Post, Elon Musk, ex-Twitter, and Rupert Murdoch, News Corp, including Fox News and various other publications. These individuals control over media outlets, raises concerns about potential bias, editorial influence, and the concentration of media ownership. They're also talking about a Patrick Soon-Shiong, Mark Zuckerberg, and we know Tyler Perry's a billionaire. Okay, which one of them could have been involved in all this stuff? Let me see, just for curiosity's sake. Is Oprah a billionaire? Yes, Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire. Her estimated net worth is around 2.8 billion. So who could the billionaire have been that he had not so good dealings with? Apparently the similarities match Tyler Perry. So it still isn't concrete proof. But again, we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe the concierge will come forward, Christian Keys, with his proof of things that happen. Maybe the other actors will come with proof of things that happen. I also think, and I could be wrong because I haven't gone back and watched The Oval from the beginning, like rewatched it, but I could have sworn there was a different woman playing Priscilla. And I remember saying to my aide, that ain't Priscilla. And she was saying, yes, it is, yes, it is, yes, it is. Well, look what they did with Marilyn in The Munsters. They switched her out, and most people didn't even notice. And I don't think that's the first time that's ever happened in Hollywood. I mean, you also look at Bewitched. Now, that was a big difference. Dick York and Dick Sargent, big difference. But what if there was an original uh, actor who was playing Priscilla? She wouldn't play the game. They got rid of her, but they still needed the character of Priscilla and hired another woman. So if other Tyler Perry employees get together with their proof, it may show he did something. It may not. He may have been trained so well he can't actually get caught. We don't know. Again, we have to wait and see what comes up in the future.
One thing I can say is that this brother was definitely shook up. He was definitely shook up.
Promise you this. I will promise you this. As an executive on the show, I'm grateful for this person for showing me how not to be. When you're the boss, how not to be.
An executive producer? A boss? Tyler Perry executive produces a lot of his stuff. He directs a lot of his stuff. It seems like he is talking about Tyler Perry, but until he comes out and actually says Tyler Perry. And it could be possible if he comes out and says it, all the Queen's Men is done for. It's possible. Let's see. Keys net worth. Okay, now he has 1.5 million. He may not be willing to give that up by naming Tyler Perry and who else. If Tyler Perry is in fact the one he's talking about. But again, time will tell.
You don't sexually harass your employees. You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want. I am grateful for that lesson. I'm glad that God sat back, because not only was he watching to see if I was the person that he thought he had made, but he was letting me see who I am.
And look, he's getting very upset. People who have been sexually harassed to this point, they get very, very upset. This may not be an acting job. It may not be a con job. It may be this actually happened to him. I mean, it's been alleged from the Empire. I think his name is Bashir. It might have been Bashir in the show, or it might be Bashir in real life. But he played Lucius Lyon's younger son, Jussie Smollett's character's younger brother. He was taken off the show and then eventually didn't do regular acting. He went into porn. That could be because of how he was treated during this stuff. We've seen how people have gone nuts with all this abuse, the sexual abuse, the giving in, the doing things they don't want to do. We've seen it. And Christian Keys may be talking about Tyler Perry. If he didn't mention Tyler Perry, I don't think they should have put this on the TikTok video. They should have worded it differently.
And I'm grateful for it, because it let me know, and that gave me a lot of my bravery.
So from the message that he sent, it sounds as if it revealed to him his strength, because he was able to resist and not, give up what they call his man card. Shout out to Terrence Howard for coining that phrase. Definitely, I did too. Hey, Dibble D, peace and blessings. Hold on, the chat was moving fast. I believe Christian, when he first came, you can't help but just look at the emotion that's attached to it. That just does not scream clout chaser. That just does not scream that I just want attention, or I want money. That screams trauma. That screams pain. That screams, to me, a lot of history, as far as that probably helped change the trajectory in his life at this point in his life. And as a man, I can't imagine what that looks like. I can't imagine what that feels like and what it entails, because you risk in such a world of acting, of celebrity, of the Hollywood industry, to stand up and to make public that's not how you roll. You're going to get some pushback. You're risking becoming blackballed, being ostracized, your name being smeared, even if they have to lie upon you just because you are not coexisting in the same fashion as those that are signing your paychecks. So if you know, you know, right? So I definitely I see a lot of gaslighting in this industry. I see a lot of games being played. I see a lot of plays being um, administered in this industry. And you got this man now. I'm with a lot of the people that I've been hearing on the topic when it comes to Derek Dixon. First of all, the amount that he's suing for. Now, nobody can really put a price on pain, on an individual's pain, but what I will say is that what they say that the punishment has to fit the crime, right?
Right.
And until things come out and until they develop into a point where there can be a judgment placed off of fairness and off of the facts and the evidence being presented throughout this, because let me tell you, the Derek Dixon's team is going to fight for his best interest, and you already know that Tyler Perry's team is going to fight for his, not just his best interest, but his name, his
Yes.
legacy, right? His whatever he's leaving to the next generation, his name and his business, his company, the people that he's helped, the people that he has uplifted, that he's been able to employ. We can't just dismiss that and say that he is a man of bad character because he has been able to do.
Ms.Akemi is 1,000% right until we know for sure. It does seem like he's guilty, but guilty of what? The evidence I've seen so far doesn't show he's guilty. And Derek Dixon isn't a woman. It's not like, oh, I gave into his sexual advances. He's saying, no, we never had sex. But then, boom, there's a baby, and the DNA matches the mother and the father. It's not like that can happen. Unless he kept some clothes like Monica Lewinsky did. Unless there's other evidence that hasn't been put out yet. We'll see. But Ms.Akemi is 1,000% right.
Has chosen to do what a lot of people in his position has not. And I'm not going to say the name, but I will say it's probably revered as the most famous basketball player. As much money as he's been worth for over 40 years, he has not really given back to his community and has been known to actually be more of a detriment to his community for his personal profit by investing in the prison system, right? Who occupies most of the prison system. So I just wanted to make that comparison, and you can't take away what the contributions and the good aspects just because somebody is being accused of something. True or not, whether they have text messages or not, whatever the evidence is, like the brother in the first video stated, you know, according to him being a masculine man, allegedly, I assume that it sounded like two women talking.
All them text messages in Medea voice. But remember when Christian Keys came out with that video? Hold on. This video, when he said he was essayed by a powerful man in Hollywood. Do y'all remember that video I made?
Now, I just looked up what Ms.Akemi just said, a retired basketball player. What showed up? The first thing, which is by what's now called the co-pilot, is that Christian Keys said there were NBA players who were doing that. Uh, let's see. Information regarding Christian Keys and retired NBA players associated with investments in the private prison system is available. Christian Keys' net worth. Specific information about Christian Keys' net worth could not be found. Well, we found it already. Retired NBA player and private prison system investments. There is a rumor that Michael Jordan invested in private prisons. This may have come from a 2014 blog post alleging that his ownership of Nike indirectly involved him in the prison industrial complex through prison labor contracts. However, this rumor may be a misunderstanding or fake news. Some sources suggest that the rumors might be attributed to another individual named Michael Jordan from Oregon, who did invest in private prison stocks. Shaquille O'Neal is mentioned as an investor in Core Civic, a private prison company, with an investment reportedly worth $1 million. Okay, that's what Google came up with. So I don't know.
I can't find it, but if y'all can find it, tag me in it. But it's a video that I made when I said it was either Madea or TD Jakes, allegedly to both of them. But if that track, the way that these court documents are worded, Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest, abuse, and SA impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams.
Okay, now TD Jakes has been mentioned in the Diddy stuff. Okay, his net worth is estimated to be around 20 million, with some estimates reaching 30 million. Christian Keys said a billionaire. Let's see, Tyler Perry's net worth, they're saying again 1.4 billion. So out of all those people mentioned, he's really the only billionaire. So it stands to reason it could very well be him.
First of all, this is a tale as old as time. This is like, what do they call it? Black couch casting or whatever, casting couch. Anyway,
Again, why do black people have to insert color? It's called the casting couch. It happens everywhere. It even happens with some landlords. They'll tell the women, oh, well, if you do this, I'll take off some of the rent. So don't just throw black into it. There are more victims connected to this, and they run the gamut of colors. Stop just making it about black just because Tyler Perry's black. No, 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 no. This kind of stuff knows no color. So it's not the black casting couch, it's just the casting couch. It happens everywhere. And it knows no color. Some people need to get that shit straight in their goddamn heads.
notice the S's, employees and actors. They are opening up the door for more people to come forward. It might not go how, I don't know. It might be over for your boy. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what it looked like to me. And it definitely sounds like allegedly. This is exactly who Christian Keys was talking about. But I don't.
So let's talk about this for a minute. Because the reason why I wanted to show her clip was because of the grammar, and like she said, the S's being plural put at the end of the statements. Now we looking at Diddy's situation, even though it's not getting a lot of the exposure it was getting initially at the beginning, it is still ongoing. It is still affecting a lot of people's lives, and it is still has a lot of similarities to what's going on now, to the situation with Shannon Sharp. Though I don't, if those text messages between him and that young lady were authenticated and are authentic, then I would say he
DJ
wasn't really
D
using.
I'm sorry, DJ Academics also said it's on Damn D's POV channel that it was a thing for years. You had younger guys get the younger women to come to the parties because the older guys wanted younger women. This kind of stuff has been going on since the beginning of time. That's why I think we're never going to be able to catch everybody. We're never going to be able to stop everybody. It's too well in place. But we got to get who we can. We got Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Diddy. It looks like Beyonce and Jay-Z are involved. Um, just a whole slew of people. Before the Weinstein stuff came out, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. He even made a joke at an Oscar Awards nomination ceremony where they announce who and what's been nominated. Made a joke about Weinstein's sexual harassment. And I love Meryl Streep, but the camera went to her and she was laughing about it. So obviously she knows about it and maybe has played the game herself a time or two. Maybe continues to play. It's not an oh my god thing. It's only an oh my god thing to us who are not in the industry. Even though we know this goes on, we never really knew it was this rampant. It's in the music industry as well. Look at Usher, Justin Bieber. Usher's parents let him go with Diddy. And what happened with Usher? And then, like I said, you have to bring in someone new. Usher found Justin Bieber on YouTube. And you can't let the parents get away with shit. The parents, like with the Michael Jackson case, was having fame, expensive trips, clothing, money, all this other stuff. And you saw in that documentary, one of the mothers said she looked at the father and said, I think we just got dumped. Because Michael Jackson wanted the kid to be alone so he could get to the kid. Now, whether that was getting to the kid for sexual reasons or not, don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But parents have to take responsibility for this shit too. Like all those young girls with R. Kelly. You saw in the R. Kelly documentary that black woman with the blonde hair brought her niece to R. Kelly. And then she claimed she was surprised to see her niece there one day in a back room waiting for R. Kelly. She said it in the documentary. She asked her niece, what are you doing here? She said, oh, I'm waiting for Robert. And then that video was sold at something similar to an Aqueduct flea market. It allegedly showed R. Kelly urinating in the mouth of someone who was very young. This black woman with the blonde hair said she saw the video and she knows it was her niece. Who brought the niece to him in the first place? Yes, R. Kelly needed to be put in jail for the shit he did. There's been things going around that's not actually what he was arrested and convicted of. But what about that black woman with the blonde hair who brought the niece to him, saw her in a back room, and in the documentary said she just walked out of the room? So you left your niece there instead of taking her home? The game is played everywhere. It just depends if you're willing to play or not. And neither choice is a good choice to make, but people are making choices, and then because they're regretting their choices, can bring up these suits. And $260 million, that's an odd number, even though he's a billionaire. I've heard of millions in the double digits. But over $250 million? Maybe other actors are going to join this suit. Maybe other actors have, and it just hasn't come out yet. I don't know. But it just seems really fishy. When they don't work anymore, that's when they want to come out with the stuff. And it's not all, but it is a lot of them.
Kid, okay, pun intended, to think with and to remember who he is, and that when you are a man of status or a woman of such status, of hierarchy, and of wealth, you're going to be a target. You have to be a lot more aware and use a lot more discretion about people you allow themselves to attach themselves to you, especially
True.
when you're not dealing with people of the same ilk, on the same level, right? You listen, it's a real thing and it is what it is.
Tyler Perry stated he started out being homeless living out of his car. So he came from the same ilk as Derek Dixon, but he is not the same ilk now. Because of his billionaire status and the power he wields, he's an elite. And we've all seen what the elites can get away with and do get away with.
There is a lot of different cases with men of color that seem to be going through very similar circumstances.
And again, it's not just men of color. Again, that cherry seltzer, excuse me. Because Derek Dixon, you're looking at him, okay? It has happened a lot to men of color, but it has happened to men and women and children of every color. It's happened. And maybe that's another thing some people are taking into account. Derek Dixon's white, or he looks white, so he's going after a good black man and the money he worked hard to earn. But I don't think it's a black or white issue. I truly don't.
And I can't help but notice that in, especially like in Shannon Sharp, and I'm sure there, I know that there are more examples, but that is what comes to the forefront of my mind. And Tyler Perry that these people are other than people that look like them. So let me tell you something. One thing that I know and I believe about this industry is that everything on the surface is not as it seems. So you can say that Kanye West, which is another example, was or has been classified as $1 billion man with a B, right? At the same time, he marries a woman of a different ilk, of a different culture, different nationality, background. And guess what? That money, once they procreated, got married, established a family in the eyes of the law together, guess what? That money, a lot of that money is going back to her, which means
Well, there's also a thing of Kim Kardashian has been passed around, and she has been given to people to shut them up. Why was she, as an adult, dating a 15-year-old Justin Bieber? Because her mother's involved in this stuff too. Remember O.J. Simpson? He made fun of the fact that he literally ripped Kris Kardashian open in a hot tub, and he just left her there. He didn't call an ambulance, he did nothing, and he made jokes about it. Look what's going on with the kids. Kris made Kim make that video of her and Ray J. And it's been alleged that Ray J's mother was told to choose between Ray J and Brandy who was going to be put into the game and who wasn't. She decided to protect her daughter, and then you see Ray J practically living at Diddy's mansion. So again, you have to blame the parents too. It's not just the black or white thing, but you have to connect the dots. You have to see the dots, and they do connect. So Kim Kardashian may have been given to Kanye West to shut him up. Because apparently, from reports I've heard, Diddy's responsible for what happened to Kanye West's mother. Now, I heard the 911 call when Tommy Sotomayor was doing a video on it. The nurses acted like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were more interested in screaming and acting like a fool on the 911 call so they could get recorded. Why weren't they calling other people to help the woman? And why did they wait so long while she bled out? There are reports that what happened to Wendy Williams is actually because of Diddy, because she was ready to bring something out about these pictures of him doing gay stuff and all this other stuff. It's alleged. This truly is not a black or white thing. This is a Hollywood thing, a music industry thing, and it's connected with the politicians as well. So Kim Kardashian, through a number of reports, was given to Justin Bieber to keep his mouth shut over things that happened. She may have been given to Kanye West too. And who would approve of all this? The controller of the Kardashian family, Kris. Look how screwed up Bruce Jenner is. So it goes into the world of athletics as well. This thing is so intricate and connected, like I said. It's not a color thing. and I don't think we're going to get everybody. I don't think it's ever going to stop. Look at those LA fires. 3 days before they happened, James Woods, an actor who was very outspoken about stuff, said everyone in that area had their insurance policies canceled, and most of those dwellings had the underground tunnels. The same kind of underground tunnels that are alleged to be in the White House, which is how Marilyn Monroe got in and out to sleep with JFK. These aren't conspiracy theories, these are all dots. Connect them.
To their community. Okay, you have to look. If you, they say there's a saying that if you want to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been. If you want to know what the future is going to look like, then you need to reflect a lot on the past. There's a lot of truth in that. You can't just ignore the pattern, because guess what? If it works the first 100 times, they're going to use it the 101st time.
Yep.
They're going to use it the 300th time. It is going to be utilized as many times as it works for them. And then
If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's that's the motto they seem to be following. And any part that does break, they're just branches off of a tree. The tree is solid, the tree is still good, but you gotta cut off the dead branches. We've seen some of the dead branches being cut off. Even Epstein. Come on, the man was taller than the bunks he hung himself from. That makes sense to everyone? Other prisoners heard him screaming, "No, no, no," and heard sounds of what was like a fight, punching and hitting. Do you get that when you hang yourself? And then you even take Elon Musk. Why did he say that shit about Trump? Well, that's why the Epstein files haven't been released, because Trump is in them. We know he's in them. We've known this for a while. But you're making it seem like it's possibly something worse than just knowing Epstein. And Elon Musk did this because Trump wasn't going to push through the electric vehicle mandate, which is what Elon Musk wanted because he is all about electric vehicles. It's all a corrupt system, and all they're going to do is trim the dead branches, trim the dead leaves, and let the tree still grow and flourish and make new branches.
it's going to have to not work several times for them to switch up and change. So these things you just can't overlook and act as if they don't exist, right?
You can't.
So I definitely just wanted to say, guess what? Oh, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's another one.
There you go.
Lord, that was the first one of the chain, it seems, of events. You got R. Kelly.
There was one woman who was a female basketball player for the WNBA, who went right away to the police after something happened to her at the Playboy Mansion. And they've even said there were tunnels that led from the Playboy Mansion to Diddy's mansion. That's the only way they were able to get Bill Cosby. It's like with having Barack Obama as a president. The elites threw everybody a bone and said, "Here, now you got your black president, shut up." And what did that black president do, especially in his second term? He did his job well. but people still want to praise him. Look at Will Smith. His kids are messed up. There are pictures of his kids with adults. It's been alleged Jaden was given to Diddy. There are pictures of their 13-year-old daughter laying with a half-dressed man, and I think she was half-dressed. Why was that allowed? It could be Jada Pinkett Smith was given to Will Smith and truly wanted Tupac, to the point she even had her daughter writing Tupac letters every year talking about how sad her mother is that she can't be with him. And it is not just black. This is going on with every color that's in the system. But you want to make it a black thing? Okay, CBS 2 News here in New York one year did a story on how a black social worker working in the welfare system put a young black girl, teenager, 13, 14 years old, into a hotel. When the girl called her and said, "Look, I'm hungry, there's no food," the black girl recorded the conversation of the black woman social worker telling her, "Perform oral sex and get paid for it, and then you'll have money." So you want to make it a black thing? Well, I'm seeing black and white and whatever. But if it is just a black thing, it shows you what the elites think of black people. And yet black people just want to go after the average Joe schmo and get reparations out of them, beat them up. There's even one woman who says, and she's been going viral, that she doesn't want money reparations. She wants white blood as reparations. And nobody's stopping her. But if I sat here and said anything like that, my channel would be taken away because I'm white and she's black. The elites are playing a game and we are the pawns. And as we rise up with the elites, they're used more for their own pleasure, and we're used for the problems.
Even though there are some differences, but what will happen is whatever your weakness is, it will get brought to the forefront, it will be preyed upon, and it will be exploited if somebody is using you as a come up. If they're using you to regenerate or to reallocate that wealth on that paycheck or those
Like regenerating the growth of a tree.
paychecks that they have signed in your name, a lot of them don't never intend for it to stay in your community, which means your family, which means your people that look like you. We need to definitely understand.
I hear people in the sector of YouTube I'm in complaining that Kwame Brown, a retired basketball player, doesn't give enough back to his community, doesn't give anything to his community. Well, there are a lot of black people out there with money who don't do that. But because he's the one they can see and get to, they do all this shit against him. Tyler Perry has done some good for the black community, but he could do so much more. And don't even bring up fucking Oprah. She made that school in Africa, and what happened with all the girls? What happened? Haven't heard all the allegations? Go look it up. And they were kidnapped. The security at that school wasn't up to par to deal with the guys who kidnapped them. Now, they say it was guys from the Congo because those guys still believe there's a war going on. What if it wasn't them? What if it was the elites? Is Oprah paying for all of them to get the mental health treatment they need? No, all she was worried about is you can't blame her. Well, why give to Africa? Why not do it here in America? Because Africa was more secluded? Maybe like Epstein's Island was more secluded? It's all connected. Color doesn't matter.
Understand that this is a real thing, and that back in the day where there were so many other issues and circumstances that were considered conspiracy theories, we at this point with this particular situation, you can't just walk past that and ignore it and act as if it does not exist. Okay,
Exactly.
we have to wake up. We have to really understand that we are in a spiritual war, and that God's chosen people are going to be targeted. Now, I'm not saying, and nor do I know, I can identify a lot of God's chosen people when I come in contact with them. But I'm saying that in the breadth and in the width of the conversation, to say that we just have to understand that the weapons of this world are not carnal. We can't see them with the actual and legitimate eye, that we have to understand it through the spirit. You have to know thyself. You have to know God in thyself. You have to know God separately as well as synonymously. You have to understand and have clarity of where we are and what weapons are required in order to fight the battles. Now, you also hit one of his homeboys, one of his closest friends, TD Jakes. He can't even come to his defense because he's fighting for his own life. Okay? I don't even want to go off into that because I
In the priesthood, even in Catholicism, I'm Catholic. Priests have, they do. It's not all, but there have been allegations of sex with younger boys and even sex with nuns that produce children, and the children are sent away. They just found a cesspool with a bunch of babies in it at a home. Could that be where those babies were going? And they only just found it now? And it's in every religion. Pastors cheat on their wives and still preach the word of God. Stay loyal to your wife. The whole system is messed up in everything. And we're not going to be able to fix every single solitary thing. But hopefully we can fix some things, and then that'll be like a trickle down effect that other things will get fixed. And maybe one day in the future, if we live that long, might even take 100 years, maybe 1,000 years. Maybe most of it will be done to the point there are so few people that this happens to, we can actually help them as well.
look, I don't even want to know about that. I really don't. If it come out, it come out. When it comes out, it will come out. But right now, I chose to put focus and accentuation on this particular topic because at this point, it looks like a playbook is being run. Whether Tyler Perry is
Yes,
innocent, whether the truth is somewhere in the middle and both of them are wrong and right, or whether he's totally guilty. The fact
it could also be Tyler Perry got too big for his britches. It could be the same thing with Epstein. It could be the same thing with P. Diddy. They got to the point where they thought they were better than the elites and can do and say whatever they wanted, and now they're being taught a lesson and they're being used as examples for other people who try to buck the system. Who knows?
The matter is you can't be accused of something in a situation that you choose not to put yourself into. It's just not going to happen. If you're not present, if you're not there, and if you're not a participant, people will know, even if they lie on you, the truth will come out and it will be indisputed at some point, generally, right? Got to put that word out there. Generally speaking, it will be.
Again, go sub up to Ms.Akemi. She's on YouTube.